Perry Software Solutions introduces GridMax Analytics Building Area Network for energy optimization, integrating meter data, energy management systems, and auto demand response control. While utilities, ESCOs, and curtailment service providers can use the GridMax Analytics system to manage integrated demand-side management programs, clients will benefit from energy, environmental, and economic impacts. This includes realizing significant energy efficiency savings through the integrated energy management system and being able to take advantage of utility energy efficiency incentives, as well as realizing demand response income and taking advantage of enabling technology funding by harnessing the system's behind-the-meter controls, and similarly using those controls to avoid some of the costs associated with the new dynamic pricing strategies being introduced by utilities, and leveraging the system's behavior modification comparisons and reporting to manage down usage and cost. Welcome to the Perry GridMax Analytics Building Area Network Dashboard. Customers, utilities, ESCOs, and curtailment service providers can use this portal to lower energy usage and costs, to monitor and participate in various demand response programs, to limit kilowatt demand, and to reduce greenhouse gases. And now we'll examine how to take advantage of the GridMax Analytics portal. Across the portal banner are differing page views that can be assessed, from customer dashboard view of the entire operations, to customer administration, to enrollment of respective assets and customers into programs, to views of locational marginal pricing and the ability to trigger responses to price economics, to the assignment of various assets and their respective loads into various demand response and critical peak pricing and LMP programs, to looking at demand response automation server signals as they come in from the utility, which includes tracking the notifications as well as the actual events, and then grabbing reports on facility activity and viewing the energy management system details on a real-time basis, and controlling internal loads and then the provisions to exit out of the system. And now we'll take a view of the dashboard and its respective widgets. The top left widget provides a view of the locations under management as well as a real-time view of the loads that are under management at a given time. The middle top widget provides weather forecast data, which is often a predictor of the need to shed load based on peak load conditions given high heat and humidity days and a sequence of those days. And the top right widget enables a click-through to view the existing wireless energy management systems and their respective assets that are under management in a given facility. This actually views HVAC controls, lighting controls, vending controls, other types of controls that may be in play at a given facility. This next series of widgets provides for the ability to analyze load on a per facility basis as well as to compare loads. Simply type in the name of the facility to be monitored and it will populate 7 days, hourly, and real-time consumption measures either on a kilowatt-hour basis or a kilowatt basis. This bottom row shows how you can contrast two facilities that are under management for behavior modification or behavior comparisons, as well as how you can measure greenhouse gases. In the center of the bottom row is a feed opportunity where you can send interesting information on sustainability or corporate initiatives or other critical pieces of information to the portal for viewing by recipients of this information, and it can be an RSS feed or other live data feed scenarios. Customers become part of the GridMax Building Area Network for the purpose of managing their loads against internal peak demand measures, utility rate structures, or ISO programs, including the new locational marginal pricing based opportunities for being paid as generators. The first step in the process is to capture client information from both a campus or facility specific load perspective as well as an aggregated load perspective. This will afford the organization the ability to manage their total load as a group, or to segment out even sub-metered loads as well. Customers will be administering not only their demand response participation, but their energy management system perspectives, if that's part of the system that we're enrolling into. That will afford the ability to do nighttime and weekend setbacks and participate in really being able to shave load, not just shed load. This is a system that affords you the ability to assign facilities to locations so they can participate in locational marginal pricing, as well as to participate as aggregated groups in an overall program that would benefit a community. The notification contact details are very important because our voice over IP affords the ability to outreach to customers to tell them an event is about to occur, and to specify that they will be affecting a shed based on either preset strategies or the need to go around and execute individual strategies, and the customer can be specified, and their participation in the various loads will be predetermined if the customer wants, and the notifications will be sent out accordingly. The enrollment section of the GridMax portal. This section entails the enrollment of customer facilities, loads, and demand response assets into respective utilities and ISO demand response programs based on the M&Bs established in audits, quantifying the loads to be shed and the economic values involved. Clients can enroll or be enrolled in various DR programs based on their desire to shed their load or partial loads given certain financial terms. Clients can participate as an individual facility, a sub-metered facility, or as an aggregated load. Curtailment service providers and utilities can enroll and manage clients individually or on an aggregated basis. An aggregation would be specified in the enrollment process as we identified previously. Clients can set up a device in an enrollment plan against day-ahead products, day-of products, critical peak pricing products, or their own internal demand limits. And they can also specify the duration of the sheds, as well as ask for a notification to be sent to respective parties, notifying them that a trigger has been activated and a load is about to be shed. As part of the enrollment process, clients have the ability to assign specific demand response assets and their respective loads into particular demand response products, as had been identified in the enrollment process earlier. This, for example, is the notification that a bunch of assets are to be enrolled in the critical peak pricing program, or a bunch of assets are to be enrolled in the day-ahead capacity bidding program, and these are the respective assets, which includes thermostats as well as lighting relays. As part of our demand response asset management strategy, where you can assign assets to particular demand response products based on the potential income, we have the ability to also sequence assets off and then on to share the load, or to essentially share the load shedding across the facility and reduce the burden on any one particular asset or on one or more other areas in a building. And this is what's happening here. We've registered some lighting banks into critical peak pricing, and what you see is for the first 15 minutes, one asset is off while the other asset is on, and we can cycle air conditioning units and their respective loads, or lighting or other facility loads, according to a sequencing plan that the client determines, and then you notify the client of that sequence occurring after a trigger. For the purpose of brevity, I'm going to combine the DRAS, event notifications, and events as one discussion point. Essentially, the demand response automation server from the utility sends out event notifications. Those event notifications are captured, and then you can track the amount of time a call was made for critical peak pricing, for example, how much time you have committed to execute in that plan, how many hours or amount of time is remaining after that event has been acted upon.
This is a log of alerts that were received indicating events might be called and their likelihood. This is a log of the event notifications across multiple properties received from the utility demand response automation server.
The KW limit area allows you to schedule lighting relays or thermostats or such based on an internal set of parameters for, let's say, shedding load when the peak demand approaches a previous peak. One of the emerging opportunities in the demand response marketplace is locational marginal pricing based products. With the new FERC rulings enabling clients to get paid as generators for shedding loads based on LMP and given certain market conditions, we've developed an opportunity for clients to track locational marginal pricing on a day-ahead basis, pre-dispatch basis, or real-time dispatch basis, and to be able to shed loads based on those conditions or those values that are associated with LMP, just as they would critical peak pricing programs from utilities or other demand response products.
Using the MillennialNet Wireless Energy Management System as our integrated EMS system, we can not only provide enrollment in demand response, but also enable nighttime and weekend setbacks of behind-the-meter loads for significant energy management savings. Here we're actually illustrating the turning on and off of a vending machine in a multi-shift operation where we started on a Monday morning and shut it off midnight on Friday. This historical view of the MillennialNet Wireless Energy Management System thermostats shows that the summertime setup of temperatures for nighttime and weekend periods allowed for the temperature in the building to rise during times when it was not being used, producing a significant savings in energy usage and costs. Converting to a smart building is easy and cost-effective with MillennialNet T-Stats and relays. There's minimal change to users, plus unlike programmable communicating thermostats, MillennialNet wireless systems provide a web-based policy brain for M&V results assurance. Importantly, the MillennialNet wireless mesh network is robust and dynamic, assuring reliable and responsive load control for commercial and industrial installations. The bottom line, GridMax can deliver optimum ROI via integrated meter data, energy management systems, and auto demand response control. The energy management systems can deliver significant savings across all fuels, plus provide a foundation of behind-the-meter controls to participate in demand response income generation. Controls have been shown to provide the greatest degree of savings in integrated energy management programs, and the ROI associated with controls and meter data can produce a much greater return than other sustainability measures. The final contribution from the GridMax system is what we call our ecosystem for energy optimization, which includes people, process, and technology to deliver energy efficiency savings, demand response income, and environmental impacts. We start with auditing from an energy efficiency standpoint. Let's say you change out lighting. Well, how much of the remaining lighting is addressable for demand response? And making sure that both of those considerations go into an M&V plan to the utility for their efficiency program incentives and to the ISO for the income generation. And then you set up a facility set and forget plan with setbacks for energy efficiency and auto load based on the demand response program or the critical peak pricing or the LMP or price responsive demand programs. Then you provision those devices into the plan to make sure that the load shed occurs in sequence or as an aggregation, whatever the goal has been, that's something that's set up with devices that are provisioned. And then each of the devices are enrolled into an execution engine that cuts across setbacks, demand response, critical peak pricing, LMP, and really captures meters and meter information to prove out that the load has been reduced as planned. And then the customer is notified via a two-way voice over IP system, and they can control and or override that set and forget strategy by this two-way notification system. And all in all, it produces capacity impacts for the grid, reporting of value to the client, and settlement to the client and the utility and the grid. Thank you for this opportunity to present the Perry GridMax Analytics Building Area Network for smart building optimization of energy, environmental, and economic impacts. Thank you.